I
too.
beg your pardon. For police emergency and non-emergency dispatch.
Police operator 9826.
Yes, this is Teresa Lockwood. I called the other day police to make a report, and they refused to take my complaint and put a false complaint that was not my complaint that I was making, and refused to put the information down. And I was harassed by Officer Farmer, and they actually put another name on there of the officer that was not even there. Okay, and refused to put the officer's name on there. And Officer Farmer, Officer Adams, and Officer Capazzi were all obstructing justice and refusing me refusing me to speak and cutting me off and harassing me.
Okay.
Okay, please stop with the whole thing saying okay, like my son, who basically says okay when I speak against abuse. I already know the little harassment. I already know the harassment and the gang manipulation. Just sit there and say okay to me.
Okay, did you want to speak to a supervisor or a different officer?
I need to make a complaint that I was refused to make, and continuously I'm refused to make because I don't believe in child rape. I am being persecuted for being an activist against child rape.
Okay, so do you want to speak to a supervisor?
I need to make my complaint.
Okay, so you want to speak to a regular officer?
I need to speak with supervisor. All your supervisors are corrupt.
So a supervisor?
I need to make my complaint.
Okay, with a supervisor or regular officer?
I'll try a regular officer, and then I'm sure they'll retaliate against me also for speaking law against crime.
Okay, so do you want a supervisor or a regular officer?
Oh, we'll see how a regular officer handles it, but I know they're all told to basically refuse my rights because I'm on a flag list.
PD front desk, Officer Rosario.
This is Teresa Lockwood.
Yes, how you doing, ma'am?
Yeah, who you said, Rosario?
Yep.
This is the younger one?
The younger one, yes.
Okay, the one that basically falsified a complaint on me and basically made false statements that I did not make.
What are you talking about?
'Cause I was sat in the police department while you took a complaint and falsely made claims that I did not say in the report. You sit there and make me look like a liar because I don't lie because I'm a righteous, religious, holy woman.
Well, you're not a liar because you're not arrested for this. You'd be arrested for falsifying a police report if you were lying. I never said
You should be arrested for falsifying information on the report that I was trying to make and making me look like a liar and making a false statement that I did not say. Because I'm called religious and legalistic for keeping the Ten Commandments and promoting that
you
those.
need to slow it down and get to the
Okay, I'm not talking fast.
like or that you think.
Slow it down. Slow it down.
Yes, you're speaking very fast.
No, I'm not. I have a recording on video. You're a liar. You're going to sit there, you're going to accuse me of being pressured speech now? Like all the other liars?
Report.
You falsified a report on me.
Is there anything new that you're looking to report on?
I basically tried to make a complaint a couple days ago, okay, about you Pentecostals and racists and Democrats hacking in my internet, changing my passwords, and then hacking or you won't let me speak. You're obstructing justice, refusing me to speak like Officer Farmer.
I haven't been able to hear what your question was.
You will not let me speak. That's harassment of your police officers racially discriminating against me.
I have, hon. I'm asking
You're a racist. You're discriminating against me, refusing me to speak. You're refusing me to speak. It's mind rape. It's mental abuse, gaslighting, and mind rape. You're refusing me to speak and finish my statements like Officer Farmer did.
Well, I don't wish to be like
You're refusing me to make my complaint and speak. Like all your racists are doing while they're sitting there committing hate crimes against me. Including your white misogynistics.
Say that last part again.
I said, including your white misogynistics. I am being racially discriminated against because I'm a genius.
Say my white.
I said, you racists are racially discriminating against me, committing hate crimes against me, refusing me my rights, okay, because I'm a white, very intelligent white woman and religious. Okay? And religious means other laws of justice. Don't talk over me. Don't be like the judge who sat there and talks over me to sit there and make sure I don't speak.
If you have something to report, I'll be happy to take it.
I'm trying to report it. You won't let me speak.
You haven't gotten to the point yet.
You will not let me speak, and this is mind raping mental abuse.
Ma'am, I put myself on mute and let you rant.
I'm recording you, and you will not let me speak.
You recorded mine as well.
I'm trying to make a report, and you won't let me speak. You're mind raping me. That's disgusting. Filthiness. I'm going to report you. Oh, I know. You get away with everything, right? Because you're all trying to basically, just like oppress white women all over the freaking country. Like people. I'm trying to speak. He won't let me speak. This is mind rape. That's all they do is rape.
You've spoken now, but I don't have a date.
They won't let me speak. This is what they're doing. They continue harassing me. They're discriminating against me because I am an activist against child rape.
You're talking, but I don't hear a date or time of when this took place.
I basically made a complaint on the 5th, and I was harassed like you are, refusing me to speak, okay, and talking over me like the judge did, okay, copying the police, by the way. Okay, and basically refusing me to let me speak, and then basically blaming me, I'm questioning, my mental stability because I'm a genius and intelligent, not like your dumb bibbles like your mothers and your wives and your aunties and your grandmas. And your children, maybe. Because I won't conform to the dumbness of other women who basically don't become women anymore because they submit to the ignorance of males. So I'm only being targeted because I don't believe in child rape. Hello?
You got upset when I started speaking, so I wanted to let you talk.
No, you basically were talking over me, and you were sitting there, and I got harassed by a judge like that because when you, racist, falsely made a false report against me to have me locked up for heinous crimes being committed against me while my perpetrator was threatening to stab me to death, as your racists listened to it laughing at me to hopefully I basically get that I hopefully die. Because I'm a moral, good person and a woman, and a white woman.
I never signed any charges against you. You weren't locked up.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anything about you filing charges against me. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. You can't even apply the law or line up anything with anything that I'm saying, and you're talking over me.
Do you understand how the law works?
I write about the law, and I live by the law. That's the righteous law, by the way, not the perverted laws that are crimes that are justified and basically falsely called the law. So I only go by the laws of the good conscience and by the authority of God. And you sit there and get your little Pentecostals to sit there and say, they live by the law of God, while they basically promote sin and unconstitutional, anti-Christian, false laws that is sin, basically falsely call it law. Muhammad did the same thing and sat there and called rape justice. So I'm well aware of all the manipulation tactics because I study and research manipulation tactics and perversion of government and how it gets corrupted. I'm an expert at it. Okay, and I have thousands and thousands of writing on these things to back that up online. Except for when you people, you Pentecostals, you racists, you Democrats, and Wesleyans or whatever, are hacking my computer and deleting information and altering information, okay, to cover up evidence and what I know and my very high intelligent level that I have because of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of God, of the Holy Spirit that is in me. Holy Spirit just simply means perfect truth. So the thing is that, I am an expert on law, by the way. So apparently you need to learn what that is. And so the thing is, while you sit there manipulating, you're violating my good conscience, which is against the law. Okay, and that's all actually written on the book. So look and learn about what that is. The laws of the good conscience. You violate the good conscience or whatever it is actually a crime. So I've been teaching police officers for many, many, many years, correcting them. And then you get your chaplains to sit there and say, well, women aren't allowed to speak knowledge to men, perverting the Bible like little child molesters that they are, and child molester protectors that they are. So, and why I'm being persecuted because, for standing up against child molestation because I won't submit to child molesters. And because I'm an activist and that's my main ministry. And so I'm being persecuted by your police and your chaplains because of it. Why? Because what they do is not of the laws of justice, and they're all criminals. So the thing is that while you want to sit there and manipulate and talk over me, while you're sitting there getting judged and falsely accuse me of talking over him while he's talking over me and flipping things backwards to sit there and manipulate these things, I don't do those things, but I will talk over those who talk over me to sit there and try to make sure I am not heard. Okay, so I listen to everybody because that's my whole work. That's my whole life that I spent 30 years doing. Is listening to poisonous, manipulative, false laws, corruption, and every toxic freaking false knowledge that there is. And I spend my whole life, every day of my life, researching. So, that's all I do. So all the lies that people falsely accused me of doing, and living this other life of these skanks, and it had me falsely arrested and put in jail, by the way, because to be with like a pearl cast before swine, surrounded by a bunch of skanks who are not my equal, by the way. Okay, you can sit there and try to make me equal to them, but I'm not. And you can sit there and say I'm grandiose all you want, slandering me because I know I'm better than evil people and people who basically live a skanky life, but I'm still better than everybody else. I'm sorry, not children. Innocent children until they're all corrupted and I'll become like all of you people until you ruin the next generation. Like you people ruined my children. By racist, by white and Hispanic racists because my daughter was Hispanic. Okay? So my children destroyed because I didn't want a freaking to touch a white male. So you imprisoned me to my rapist and sat there and you said I needed to submit to my white rapist. So, and basically flipping things backwards in your little false report that you submitted to the courts, by the way, falsely accusing me in your false documents you're slandering me with, and then sitting there saying and tying that to my first one and only love, which I will never love anyone else. I only have one husband, and that is Pete Stevenson from Ocean County. That's my one and only husband, by the way. So y'all can sit there and flip things backwards and torture me and using my PTSD and trauma that you people have been doing to me since I was a child, traumatizing me over and over and over with all your lies. Like the dirty swine filth I was basically human trafficked into, who illegally adopted me by lies and deception. Stealing me and kidnapping me from my parents and kidnapping my children, and you police sat there and hello?
Yes, Teresa.
I'm gonna go because you know what? You people covered up. I presented to the courts how you people covered up the kidnapping of my children. You people covered up the kidnapping of me, by the way. And then you sat there and your cops and your government and your state silenced me or whatever because I was sitting there standing up for justice and fighting for children since I was a child. Then you people destroyed my children, so there's no witnesses. Not only that. Your police in your police department destroying and threatening me and my children, like your chaplain, William Clay at Raymond Church or whatever, sat there and threatened me in front of the judge to threaten to destroy me. And you people sat there and destroyed my children, handed me my son over after damaging his brain permanently forever, and sat there and say, "Here, that's what you did. That's what you people did." And said, Here, to sit there and seek revenge. You people should go to prison for attempted murder, by the way, and the damage that you people did permanently to my son and gave him drugs or whatever to sit there and destroy him forever so there's no witnesses against you people doing this all to me. You people destroyed my son because I loved him more than anything, and because you people wanted to hurt me so bad and torture me. You committed so many hate crimes against me, caused so much harm and damage and trauma, and told me I had to blame myself because I'm the one in pain, because I'm the one in pain and suffering. Then you go around slandering me like mass child molester Glenn Green, calling me mentally retarded, mentally ill, so no one would hear me, so you continue to mass rape children. So you people, you sit there and you do all these things, and you're going to sit there and cover all the evidence and destroy all evidence, that would be including people's lives. You people attacked my children in the schools. You people threatened my children and threatened and kidnapped my children, threatened me to never see my children again, and gave them to my rapist, hoping my rapist would rape my children. That's what you people did, and imprisoned me to my rapist so nobody would hear me because he's a pathological liar and makes up a lie to make sure I am never heard. And you all people do the same thing over and over and over. And you people, there is a house, so you can sit there and you can laugh at things. You can get your people claiming, oh, you're always saved or whatever, once saved, always saved, and you're sealed with the spirit and all these other things. Liars go to hell. Liars go to hell. You can put me in your jails or whatever, and I'm an innocent person. But the thing is, there's an eternal prison for anybody who commits evil against me. You don't know who I am. I'm a God's chosen anointed, right? And the thing is, you will not escape God's judgment. You will be judged by what you do, not what you claim to believe. And apparently all you people claim to believe is in lies. You people are enemies of law enforcement. You people create Nazi regime law enforcement, a corrupt law enforcement. That's what you create. So you can get Adams sit there. He's pretending, going around lying, by the way, sitting there saying he's my friend. I cannot be friends with liars. I'm righteous. We can only be friends with righteous people. So to sit there and claim, oh, we're friends, and then he's manipulating and lying about me and making up lies about me, persecuting me, mocking me, doing all these things, and can't discern one thing from another. And he's sitting there manipulating, and you have all these other people manipulating, and then when they're caught, and somebody acting, pretending like they're investigating something to keep a little control, whatever, when they're going to do nothing about it. You sit there, and this is just unbelievable. Your police department is so dangerous. You basically, what you people have done throughout decades and terrorizing me over on a weekly basis and getting away with everything that you have done. And you're allowed to do all these things, and you laid all these things that you do right in my lap. It's like I told Officer Farmer, you are like somebody who's burying a body right out in the open public, and you don't even think anybody can see you. Hello?
I'm still here, Teresa.
So the thing is, you're going to sit there and laugh. I'm 50 years old. I had to live most of my life for 40 years in abuse, torture, and torment by the same thing that you police continue to do to me. Flip things backwards, blame me. You people are like mass child molester Glenn Green sitting there when I'm trying to sit there and getting help for Vicky or whatever because she's being molested and stuff. You got a dirty mind. Tell me I have a dirty mind for speaking against child molestation. This is the exact same principle all you police have done and encountering me with all the time. Tell me I need to blame myself because I'm the one that's hurt. That I'm the one that's in pain. That's all you people do. Oh, you're mentally ill. You know what he did to sit there and cover it up? He sat there and called me mentally retarded and mentally ill. I've said that. You people are doing the exact same thing. You people are all programmed and trained to sit there and silence victims. You use your chaplains and sitting there claiming I'm committing this crime for gossiping, for speaking against abuse. Then you people, you don't even realize how you're exposing everybody that when you sit there and you have one person attack a victim of abuse, all the evil people will be like, come out and basically start sitting there and attacking you and joining in the bullying and stuff like that or whatever, to sit there and abuse you or whatever because, oh, that person did it. So you are pulling it out. You are pulling them out. You're putting a lot of things right before my eyes. Believe me, you're doing a whole lot more than you think you even know you are. So one person sits there and abuses me. The other person will sit there and be exposed for abusing me. And I watched this all these years, all these decades that you people are doing this or whatever. It's like William Clay handing me over to the courts and stuff. And he's sitting there exposing what is happening around me. He's going to sit there and treat me like garbage. So, they fractured my skull in the back of the courthouse. And basically, because somebody was abusing me, the next person comes out and abuses me and pulls the next person out. So I watched this for years. So you people are exposing. When you stand me before judges, and I'm an innocent person, and then I'm being treated like this heinous criminal, It just comes right before my face. What the responses are, how they judge, what they do, and it's not me that's being exposed because I'm innocent. I'm standing there before the judge, and then they're exposed, and they'll start abusing me because police are abusing me, without a fair trial, without anything. So it's the same thing with churches. So police abuse me. Then you sit there and you go and you use these chaplains and these church members and all these other things or whatever because you're abusing me. They'll come out and abuse me. And you pull out all the criminals and you don't even see what was being right before you. I'm seeing it all. I'm watching it all. So I go through the system and I go through the course. I'm making all these contacts with these people and you're all basically exposed.
1 second. I'm not hanging up on you, okay?
Uh-huh.
Just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize, Teresa. I'm back.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Look, I was trying to make a complaint the other day and I got harassed for people hacking my internet, which is among your police and your chaplains, and altering my passwords to lock me out of my accounts. They had somebody or hacked the state internet to alter information to lock my card down.
What else coming in at the desk? I'm back, Teresa.
I called on a couple days ago to report hacking. Well, your police department and chaplains, and I have evidence of basically what I witnessed by conscience and evidence by what was said and done. Have been they've been hacked in my computer since like 2005, and that was a Nazarene Ramus Church of William Clay and your former chief Codispati, who mainly hacked my computer, who've been persecuting me since then and attacked and destroyed my children. Okay, so the thing is people, they have added people and other people have hacked my computer, and that had been Pentecostals mainly and other denominations in your police department, and these churches from Calvary Chapel hacked into my computer, have stolen knowledge from me or whatever. They have just recently locked one of my accounts down, which I used to view people who blocked me, by the way, their false sermons or whatever, and basically put in one of my accounts or whatever, John 3:16, spelling it out or whatever in caps or whatever, which Jesus doesn't even love them, by the way. He said they're going to hell because anybody who's is a liar and deceiver and basically practices sin. I don't practice sin, by the way. I'm not saying I don't have some mishaps or whatever, but I never willfully do wrong to people. But the thing is, it's just that the thing is they basically they either hacked the system in the government. Okay, because this is a government card, by the way. You either hack the system in the government, okay, or they use a person in government, which they have done in government, to alter information that was basically in government records, to alter my birth date, to basically lock down my card. And they used it because they're using my trauma to abuse me, by the way, because when I was growing up, I was told that my birthday was the 5th. And when I basically used this card and had to share information and call them before on this, it's a way to go, debit card, and when I had to share information and I would give them my birthday the 6th, I did it the day before. The next day when I had to call them back, when I had to straighten out the information with Amazon because there was like a compromise on my card and I had to figure it out, when I called back, they altered my birthday. It was right the day before. It was altered the day after. So it was changed from the 6th to the 5th. Okay, so the thing is, and then they're sitting there saying, oh, well, you got to give ID, you got to give your birth certificate. I don't have a real birth certificate. My birth certificate is deception and illegal. It may be illegal by the standards of the government or whatever, but information is falsified to basically wrongfully adopt me. So I can be abandoned and given away to a child sex trafficking, child molesting cult of their family. They adopt me and quickly abandoned me, by the way. So I was a foster child all the way up until like 1981. They adopted me and immediately gave me away and handed me over to them. They did the same thing to my children and kidnapped my children, and the state allowed it, because they were all covering up mass child molestation. I was not molested, but I was a prime credible witness, and I basically was silenced or whatever and called mentally retarded, and I'm highly intelligent, by the way. I do have an IQ 120, and it is also on record that I have an IQ 120, and even in that statement, when I was told I have an IQ 120, even in that statement, they sat there and said, I believe that it is higher or whatever. And the only reason I have that, okay, is not because I'm I'm poor at mathematics, by the way, but my discernment capability and principles or whatever are extraordinary, okay? So the thing is just that I'm being persecuted with that because of my discerning, okay? And so this is not like common basic or whatever. I have a wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of God. I prove God exists in all the churches in the world to be false, based on certain principles and all basically that everything they claim is basically not what is. So the thing is, it's just that I'm being persecuted for that. And because I don't believe that Jesus is God, I don't believe in child molestation, because I speak against and specialize against certain principles that they use to silence victims from domestic violence to basically mass child sexual abuse among these evil Antichrist churches, and they are Antichrist. Okay, Jesus said, let them be to them as a millstone were hung around their neck and drowned in the ocean. And yes, I basically believe it, and basically by conscience believe and yes, feel the same way. So, and feeling in all my pain. So I do believe all rapists and child molesters should be exterminated. So the thing is that I don't really care. You people want to sit there and falsely call me violent? That's not violent. Okay, they falsely, your police sat there and falsely called me violent because I punched a human trafficking kidnapper in the face for allowing and covering up children being sexually abused. Okay, so that's not me being violent. And like I said before, you can add on to that when I basically woke up in the middle of the night and kicked an old pervert in the face in the middle, when I was sleeping or whatever, so I don't get molested. And they're all angry because I fight against being molested. So the thing is, I spoke out against other children being molested, and I was called mentally retarded. Okay? So the thing is that so people are still using the same evil, dark principalities that be false principalities, hidden in like I don't know. Can't. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go on because I can't explain that in principle exactly. I probably could. I'm gonna write it out. But the thing is that your police department and the child sex traffickers in there. And I exposed them. Before Bew and Ortiz got exposed, I was writing against it that was in the police department before then. The only thing is, 2 of them got caught. And I said it was in your police department. Okay? And I don't think every police officer in there is like evil and perverted and approves of such things. I know there's got to be somewhere in there a number of officers that think that's that's just like profane, it's just disgusting. So that is foul. So it's destroying innocent life, and it destroys all humanity and society or whatever. So I basically on your flag list, which is on your false report that was made against me on the 5th a couple days ago. And saying I'm on a flag list, which came up on reports, a number of reports, and they were going around, sitting there, calling me an emotionally disturbed person because I had emotions, and they were getting their chaplains to sit there and speak against emotions. Well, anybody speaking against emotions, by the way, are psychopaths, and they are all exposed as psychopaths. And that's APATHY, not OPATHY. I had to recoin the word myself originally because apathy more fits better than apathy because psychopathy, because the other one means suffering of the mind. So I had to narrow it down. So I changed it. So the thing is that why people are basically, hello?
Teresa, was this the 5th of this month or the 5th of August?
This from just a couple days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I basically made a complaint a couple days ago. Adams here, Farmers, and I think it's Kapazi. They have a false name on there that I never even heard of before, and that's another falsifying of a report, falsely claiming a person was here that was not here. And so the thing is, they put on their like daily journal. I wasn't making the main complaint about Jenny Journal. I think I mentioned it, but the thing is, the main complaint was about me being hacked and my car being locked down, and it was related. And I sat there and said it was chaplains and police that are hacked into my account. Have they been for like almost a couple decades? Well, no, a couple decades now. And they're altering my passwords to lock my accounts down, and they altered a government card and altered information that it was already established what it was, and altered my birth date in one day. So it was compromised in one day by corruption, and I know for a fact it's coming out of the police department because of the targeting that is being done against me. Okay, and the use of the birth date being used and switching it to the 5th, which was a false birth date given to me as a foster child because they didn't know my birth date. So this isn't the same thing. My son gets mad because I actually say 91 instead of 90 or whatever. That's only because I had explained to him the transition of basically something around the school system, and I just basically wound up saying that and know when he was born. So I know his birthday. He's like, you don't know my birthday. I was like, just like you. And I, just like, whatever, didn't know your birthday. I'm like, no, John, it's not the same thing. So I know your birthday. So the thing is, it's just like they deliberately did that. And I find it very strange that they had me go to court for no reason. And so many times, by the way, over like a year span of time, I was going to court and had like over 10 to 12 conference hearings for this one case. And why? What did they want? Nobody gets that. Okay? And then the last time I went to court, they made a court date on the 5th. The day before my birthday. Now, I said that could have been a coincidence. There are coincidences, but the thing is, the way they're doing things is very, very strange. I do have the suspect to believe that there is some kind of like something else, principal possibility going on with that because of what is being done. And why was my account deliberately altered from my birth date from the 6th to the 5th, and then my thing locked down. Then they sat there and said I have to get my birth certificate or whatever. My birth certificate is not my real birth certificate. I don't really appreciate it. And so my birth name, my real birth certificate and birth name, which I was born with, is Lockwood. And that is legal because that's what I was born with, and on somewhere, apparently I'm not allowed to know what it is, but this is cruelty, and even me being adopted is cruel. That's like baby black market stuff or whatever, and handing me over to a bunch of inbreds who are disgusting, dumb people. And I'm not doing that because they were just like awful people, whatever. Calling them dumb, they were really dumb, uncommunicative, and basically neglect. I mean, they were actually really like legitimately like mentally challenged, like literally. And the thing is, they're it's just like they should not even have been allowed to not been allowed to adopt children. They shouldn't have been allowed to have children. They should have been sterilized. There are people that are like that have genetic things that causes problems for next generation and stuff. They should be sterilized to save humanity. So there's something wrong there. But the thing is, it's just that I mean, you can sit there and compare me to Hitler or whatever, but Hitler just adopted a whole bunch of confused doctrines or whatever and was trying to sterilize people who are depressed and with anxiety or whatever, because that was the grievances of the people that they were under in the Holocaust. So they basically try to save the people who try to save the people from the Holocaust. They basically, try to, do something else to save the people for depression, and saying it was like, mental illness and things like that or whatever. And, whatever, to save them, and then they did different things like, oh, they can work, they can do that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. That's how I speak. I'm sorry. I just have a lot of knowledge. Yes, historical knowledge. So that's how I think. But I know I have a problem with people police cutting me off. But if I do go and basically, like, I have all these thoughts every time I encounter like principles of law and stuff or whatever, with all the knowledge that I have. So if you want to cut something like that off, unless you need to know the information or principle for use to know something, that's fine. I can detect like somebody who's trying to be considerate and cutting me off, but not really cutting me off to basically obstruct justice and refuse evidence. But I do go off and giving backgrounds and stuff because all the things that I've researched or whatever, and what I obtained in my mind. So I'm sorry for that. But. The thing is just that I don't mind people have to summarize things. I mean, already we've been on, I don't know, let's see, okay, 37 minutes actually. I was just looking at my phone, but the thing is, it's just that I know you people are like chicken for time. I know people have to rush things, and I know I can get lengthy, all right? But the thing is, I find this to be all important to know, and principles and backgrounds and things like that. I could cut some things short. Okay, but the thing is, it's just like what is going on with my life is, called like paranoid and stuff. Everything can be, most of it can be actually confirmed that these things are true, and the whole system that is continuously keeping me like oppressed and destroying me and my family, which I'm told I have to blame myself, right? But the thing is, it's just I don't, because I'm not the wrong. I didn't plant these seeds. I didn't plant these evil, false seeds. I didn't do these things to myself. Okay, when people sitting there falsifying reports and sitting there claiming I reacted this, I did this, and sitting there like but sitting there like, well, there's two sides to every story. You're copying Rudy Bew, which I understood that reflection because they were sitting there doing that and then slandering the other side of the story. But that's a copy from basically what was happening years previous when they were sitting there saying in the Nazarene Church who was persecuting me, committing hate crimes against me, and then slandering me and making up the other half of the story. That's already been repeated prior to that. So. And that's what they do. Oh, it's two sides of the story, and then they tell a false story. I tell the whole of the story. I don't have every detail because I can't do every little detail. I can't from second to second to second to second to second to second. I would be here another 5 hours, right? So the thing is, it's just like, or how many hours it takes or whatever. But the thing is, it's just like the thing is, I'm not, and another thing, principle they're doing, oh, well, it's the way you respond. The way I respond. And then they would make up a lie of how I respond, and it's not, and it won't be applying to them about how they respond. But I'm not doing the wrong. I don't do wrong against people. I'm not saying I've never done wrong against people. And it all depends what that is, what people think that is. Like me hitting a child molester, protector, who basically is human trafficking children and kidnapping children and manipulating the system or whatever, and committing all these frauds or whatever. I mean, it's just like, no, that's not wrong. I mean, yeah, I would have been in prison if I killed her. And they're like, oh, isn't that violent? No, when somebody's kidnapping your child and you hit them, that's not violent. Violent is to violate. And to sit there, if you're kidnapping somebody's children, it's like, you can't have that child because that child is Hispanic. And we're going to give that child away, and you can't have that because you don't have a husband because he abandoned me or whatever. He tried to punch my baby out of me, right? Because I caught him being with somebody else. So when I was on the phone with them and we were getting along and we didn't know, right? And so they contacted me to let me know, like he tried to beat my baby out of me or whatever. And I had a big giant bruise on my thigh that was a big size of my whole thigh, trying to protect my baby. And I called the police or whatever, and they just laughed at it. And I told him, I said, you need to get out, right? And they were like, well, he asked they called her my mother. She's not my mother. She let him stay. It's like, I can't do anything about it. How are you going to sit there and beat a pregnant woman and throw me down the stairs and I have a big giant bruise on my thigh, I'm holding up my shirt is ripped, and you're going to sit there and not remove him when he almost killed my baby? So then this woman sat there and said, I'm not allowed to have a baby now because I don't have a husband. I don't have a man. Right? So then they sit there and go through the system and kidnap my child. And then they were telling, and even when my daughter was pregnant, like the child molester cult family was trying to kidnap my child even before my baby was born, and sat there and called DIFAS and said I was mentally retarded to force me to come back home because I was trying to save my baby and so they didn't steal my baby. And I moved in with, actually it was the members of the family who are basically of the foster children, of their foster parent family or whatever. And I was living with them or whatever, who basically were victims of the victim of children of the system or whatever. They took her children just because she basically wound up homeless or whatever, and they wouldn't give her children back when they got a house because she was living in a campground. So she became my foster sister, and we became good friends for many years or whatever, and found each other later on or whatever. But I wound up living with them trying to save my baby. And their mother was a great mother, by the way. She was a very good mother. She just was under unfortunate circumstances. So the thing is, there was no reason for them to be in their foster care or whatever for so many years, and they wouldn't give her a child back. The whole system is like just human trafficking, child trafficking. That's all it is. So it's really disgusting. It's all about money. So while they're traumatizing children and people and mothers and all this other stuff or whatever. So the thing is, it's like I have a lot of experience because I'm a foster child, and they had many foster children come in, not the ones who adopted me, but their family who they abandoned me to as a foster child, being a foster child of their foster children. I know it's confusing, but abandoned me to their other their cult family who was sexually abusing children and using foster children and sexually abusing them as basically child trafficking or whatever, and had all these foster children go through the thing, and I found out later that the state did know about the sexual child abuse and covered it up. So, the thing is, it's just like, and I basically said something when I was 14 or whatever, again, I said it before that, but again, and I was basically called mentally retarded by the foster parent who adopted me to make sure I wasn't heard. When I was actually her own biological daughter that I was trying to defend or whatever for being sexually abused. She was actually literally was mentally challenged. So, when I basically said something, when I got bullied in a middle school in Toms River or whatever, Toms River East Middle School, I got bullied, and I was like, they were threatening to beat me and this other girl up over something petty. It was stupid. I mean, these were like snobby, evil, like rich bitches. I mean, that's how it was in like 7th and 8th grade. So the thing is, I told them, so they asked me if I had problems at home, right? And I told them about my sister being, sexually abused and stuff or whatever. So they called in this adopted mother, in quote, mother, and asked her, and they sat there, and she told them that I was mentally retarded. So then they sat there and put me moved me to a special education class so I wouldn't go to school anymore, and saying I had behavior problems when I was the one bullied. I didn't do anything. I was a good student. I was a good person. I was very quiet and shy and everything else like that or whatever. And so they sat there and she tried to sit there and put me in a school for mentally challenged people. So when I sat there and they were talking to me, they were sitting there, oh, she's really smart. And she's questioning, she's like, why is she here? Right? And they couldn't figure out why I'm there. And so she's talking to me. She was a very friendly woman. And she's like, okay, let's go. And she started walking away or whatever. So we leave or whatever. And then they manipulated me and sat there and said, when I was like living in Georgia, we moved back to Jersey. They said that she called or whatever. And that we were going to go see her. And she wound up abandoning me in a group home to abandon me there from the age 14 to 18. I had to stay there till 18 or whatever. And manipulated me, saying I was going to see a long lost friend that I made friends in Georgia. I'm in Jersey at the time, and they abandoned me in a Tennessee group home. And your people sit there and saying I was falsely accused me of being in a psychiatric hospital in Tennessee. I was not. I was in a false, bogus group home, abandoned there so nobody would hear me. And when I was there, I found out that's where they abandoned my brother, which wound up missing when I was younger, when I was a child, around 8 or 9 years old, which nobody told me where he was, and I didn't know what happened to him. Hello?
I'm still here, Teresa.
So the thing is, the violent police are involved in this and covering that up. And that was all twisted and perverted, using my trauma and twisting it and made a false document against me or whatever. And I've been fighting against all this for all these years, and I'm still being silenced through the system and all the rules being used to make sure I'm not heard. Like, no gossiping rules, no judging, no criticizing, no arguing, no disagreeing with all these other things. And I've been targeted and still persecuted by the same principles that I've been silenced since I was a child by police. And then they destroyed my child. Both my children. Okay, poisoned my daughter's mind against me so she wouldn't listen to me because I'm intelligent or whatever.